And welcome back to the processes track. We are here again with another awesome talk. Yeah, we have loads of stuff to go now. Sivi, remind us of the most important things that people need to know.
Thank you, Eva. So we have our main sponsors as Teleport, Cockroach Labs, Hewlett Packard Enterprise, Instana, and our repeat sponsors are Harness and Shipa. Please make sure you visit their booths. It will be fun. They will have swag. And please don't forget to use Brella's people page for networking. We have a lot of people chatting at the moment. And you can also check our code of conduct on Brella event home. And so if you see somebody is not acting nice, you could also ping us in there. So Eva, back to you.
Okay, so we have another great speaker sitting right here with us. And I would like to introduce you to Jan-David Brustik. And I pronounce his name right because it's a German name. He's going to talk about not cooking, although it's one of his hobbies. Also, he's a break dancer. So will there be any break dancing in the talk? I don't know. But his talk is called The Cloud Cooking Show. So I'm very excited for that. And Jan-David, please take it away with your talk.
Yeah, thank you very much for the introduction. You can also simply call me JD, and you might have guessed it. I'm your chef for this session, if you so will, and I love to cook. I love to cook because especially it's a community event and it makes a lot of fun with friends. And the same goes with the cloud. Cloud is not something you do by your own in your own organization. You are embracing other companies to work with them together, and then it's a lot more fun. And especially you can learn a lot of different cultures and different tricks. And this is why the whole talk is around this cooking theme, about how to give another perspective, a more funny perspective on the discussion, how to embrace the cloud in your organization. Maybe some more information about me first. The most important information about cooking is that I love pizza and all the Italian food, but especially pizza from Naples because they make the best pizza. But I also love Asian food, especially sushi, and in the summer days, a good barbecue with some good steak. But my favorite dish is a homemade salmon pasta, which I learned a few years ago. And my girlfriend funnily refers to it as the mothers-in-law joker dish because it is easy to do, but it looks complex and it tastes pretty good and looks nice. So I was able to impress the to-be mother-in-law of my girlfriend. And if you're brave and stay to the end of the talk, you will also get the recipe. I will be also happy to share any cooking advices I have in the Q&A, or if we are meeting later at our booth, because I'm not only cooking and breakdancing, I also have a regular job. I'm working for Hewlett Packard Enterprise, one of the main sponsors of that event, and I'm responsible for building new kind of partnerships, especially with cloud native companies such as Container Solutions, which is why we are here also today, to provide a more cloud scenario agnostic future for the end customer. And the first thing when we are starting with the talk to learn and what I want to highlight is that cooking is about satisfying a need. I mean, it's a great experience, but at the end you have some people, you have some users who want to enjoy a really good menu. They don't care what's behind of it. If you have children and they want to eat something and they're getting hangry, they simply want to enjoy a good dish. And the same goes with the cloud. The cloud is not a destination for us. It's more an experience where a desired outcome is at the end, and that has some mechanics that are desirable and make it easier to consume. And this is the theme where we are going through right now. And I want to start with some basic vocabularies in this whole cooking metaphor I'm going to use through my talk. So if you want to prepare a good menu, the first thing you need is some basic infrastructure, obviously. In a traditional tech stack, you would need a kitchen. A kitchen can be referred to your hardware infrastructure. You need a kitchen, different kitchen appliances. You need an oven. Sometimes you need a bigger or smaller fridge, depending on how data intensive your workload is. And this is something traditionally you have to buy, and it's really expensive. And on top of that, you also need some cooking equipment, which is more basically your software infrastructure, your pans and pots, your knives, which you can use to slice and prepare the different ingredients. And you can think of it that way, that, for example, your pots and your pans are your virtual machines and containers. You also need to prepare the food. And on top of that, again, you also obviously need some ingredients. For example, for the salmon pasta, you need salmon to prepare the menu at the end. And this can be referred to the microservices the different software development teams in your organizations are developing. These are the things you need in a traditional tech stack. And from a cloud perspective, there are the same things, but they are hidden behind, obviously, a public cloud provider, for example, where you consume infrastructure as a service. They have the kitchen, they take care of cleaning the kitchen also and preparing the food. So you, as a chef, as a developer, can produce a great menu for example, your family or friends. And besides the things, you also need some people around it, because what I want to emphasize is that cloud native and the whole cloud story is not only about the developer, the chef, you want to say, that is preparing the meal. There are a lot of other people that are helping the developer in the organization to be able to provide these great meals to the end customer. For example, there's a service delivery in the IT organization who's going to shop the groceries, taking care of the quality of the different microservices, and enabling the developer that is then constructing the menu to provide good food. But there is also a finance department in your organization that takes care of the budget. Sometimes it's a bit annoying, but it's important so you can cook all the time and have enough money. You also definitely need the right skills, and this is important for cooking. While you can teach yourself a lot of things about cooking through the internet, it's always good to know and expand your mind with new dishes. For example, new kind of dishes. You want to start now to cook Asian dishes, for example, and there you need definitely the right skills and the right people that can teach you that. And one other important thing, and my favorite one, and what I really fail at as a cook, as a chef, is security and compliance. If I cook, the kitchen afterwards is completely a mess, and somebody has to clean it afterwards. And this is your security and compliance organization that has to take care that everything is clean afterwards, that it's compliant and secure. And if you're a good chef, a good developer, then you have to take care through the process already that your security and compliance team doesn't have a lot to worry about at the end. So far, so good. Those are the things from a traditional perspective you all need in your cloud journey, in your cloud environment, in the organization you have. And remember, cooking is about the end customer. We as cloud natives always has kind of the view of a customer-centric view, and they want to have an experience, which we often refer to cloud experience and mean public cloud, but this experience might also can be replicated somewhere else. So while we have a state today, there was a transition over the last years or since the beginning of IT that changed dramatically. And at the beginning, unfortunately, there was only one person taking care about everything. It was usually the woman in chief in your family that cooked, that went grocery shopping, that cleaned up afterwards. And this was the same with your IT organization. At the beginning, it was a small topic in every organization, and the IT department did everything themselves. They developed the software, they cleaned up afterwards. But this changed, fortunately, over time, that it's went to become a distributed system where also your kids helped, for example, to cook. The man in the house would go shopping the groceries and so on. And in the IT department, there were also other departments built around software, for example. As IT became a strategic asset, It also got more expensive, so the finance department was eager to participate more in the decision making about IT. And nowadays, it's even more distributed through advancements and new kinds of companies. For example, through delivery services where you simply order food and don't cook yourself anymore. There are things like Delivery Hero, Uber Eats, but also some other startups like HelloFresh, where you can get the groceries delivered at your door. And the best and the greatest innovation, I guess, for cloud natives was one thing. It was the Thermomix. And I would ask you now to write in the chat. I can't see the chat, unfortunately, but please write in the chat if you know what a Thermomix is. And if so, if you have one, maybe the organizer in this meeting, the admin, could say something, how many replied, or if the most people know the Thermomix or not. Simply write in the chat if you know what a Thermomix is. I'm not sure if it's known outside of Germany.
So far, I don't see anyone in the chat. I mean, I know what a Thermomix is.
Do you have a Thermomix at home?
I don't have one, no.
All right, so then I would simply answer what a Thermomix is for a minute, because in Germany, it's like the magic cooking machine, I would say. You have a lot of different pots and pans at home, but if you have a Thermomix, you don't need anything else. It can cook, it can steam, it can make ice cream. It's just one pot. You can make the greatest pizza though within it. And even the most people have a Thermomix in Germany, or if you don't have one, you're not part of that community, kind of. Like it's really important to have a Thermomix here. And for cloud natives, guess what it is? It's Kubernetes. It's the magic open source technology that makes it possible for us to use container in a distributed way, to use containers across different clouds and across different environments. And this was kind of the Thermomix in the cooking industry, I would say. So those technologies helped to establish new kind of companies. On the one hand side, there was new infrastructure available for the classical tech stack. I mean, you are going to IKEA to buy a kitchen. You have some great appliances from Miele, for example. Now you have a Thermomix in your home. But on the other hand side, you now have public cloud providers that are delivering everything to you. So you don't have to take care about the kitchen anymore. They take care of it. You have a lot of consultancies out there, for example, container solutions that help you in the cloud transformation and the cloud native journey. There are other consultancies that help you, for example, with building the infrastructure at home. There are other companies like system integrators and service providers that help you with completely outsourcing different workloads. And they are kind of like restaurants where you can go for eating out, where you don't take care about anything. And there is a lot more. However, the biggest discussion today in the cloud world is always kind of, can I go public cloud only, public cloud versus on-premise, and so on. And the question is why you should or shouldn't go. And if we can change this discussion from on-premise to public cloud to another discussion, because of course, the public cloud has great benefits, it's easier and so on. However, there are people who are saying, okay, on-premise has also the benefits, and today they have. For example, it can be cheaper to buy the groceries yourself. So the question there still is, do we need a kitchen anymore? If we can go out for eating or not? And the question for me is if this is the right question to ask, or if we should ask another question, because what's obvious is that you will get different answers from different people. Of course, there are people that can go in the public cloud only and would answer, yeah, you should go public cloud only. For example, a business woman or man that is a jet setter the whole day, living in a big city like London or New York, where you can go out the whole time. and where you can put all your services and workloads into the public cloud, because it's easier, and you only have simple requirements by one person. However, if your life is changing, or if you're a bigger company, for example, a couple, then you also have different requirements from two people. And sometimes it's a big discussions where to go out for eating, or if you want to cook yourself. It depends on the requirements and the situation you are in. For example, you might have some dishes you cook yourself because they are easy. You cook a lot of pasta, for example. But if you want to have other meals, a great steak, for example, you can't do it yourself because you don't have a barbecue grill, so you go out to get it. Or if you want to have a great pizza, you can't do it yourself because in an oven, you need a pizza oven to do it. So there you already have kind of a hybrid environment. And some people would say, yeah, you could in the public cloud only, but is this the best way, or is it just a compromise because it's better than staying on-prem, but it's also not the best? And there are also like big companies or families, and I don't have to tell you how difficult it is to kind of satisfy every need of every child and the whole family, because everybody wants to eat something different, or can't eat some dishes or some ingredients. So as a family, you limit yourself to a few dishes you are cooking, where your developers, for example, are not as happy as they could be because it's always a compromise. And on the other hand side, you can't go out for eating in the public cloud using delivery services all the time because it's too expensive. Buying pizza for a whole family is really expensive, or going into a restaurant is really expensive. So again, it depends on your needs, and you shouldn't ask the question public cloud versus on-premise, even if the public cloud is answering all the questions that reside, the flaws public cloud today might have with being too expensive, not data compliant, and so on. They will solve those issues in the future, maybe, but there's one fact remaining, and this is simply that the kitchen will stay forever in your apartment. Could you imagine an apartment without a kitchen? It's like obvious that you will stay or will have a kitchen in the future. And so does an on-premise environment in some kind. It might go to the edge for some edge use cases, some high performance use cases, and so on, but you will have a kitchen. You will still have a kitchen. So the question you should ask yourself is how you can get the cloud experience we love from the public cloud, the experience you're getting when you're going to a restaurant, when you're ordering at Delivery Hero, also in your own kitchen on premise. That's the more positive question you could ask. And this is also a question you're asking when trying to get in cloud native, because when getting cloud native, you're also trying to use different technologies and processes to get more agile, not only in the public cloud, but also in your own organization and on-premise environments. And to answer this question in this session, I would first ask another question, and this is, why do Germans take their kitchen with them? I can ask this question because I'm German, and we have one flaw. Like, I don't think that people around the world do it the same than we do, that they take their kitchen with them. If we buy a kitchen, we once buy a kitchen and take it with us when we are moving to another apartment. I don't know if this is normal, but we do it. And we do it for several reasons. The first reason is it is way too expensive, and it was expensive to buy a kitchen. As a matter of fact, we Germans, we are paying the most for a kitchen in Europe relative to the money we spend for groceries and ingredients. So we have a great kitchen to cook, but not the best quality in food we are using for it. On the other hand side, the people who are doing the best in the other way are the French people. They are buying the best food and can make great meals with a cheap kitchen. So it's about skills. We also don't like change. This is also why we take our kitchen with us. It feels familiar to have the same kitchen. It is too complex to build a new one, and especially it also takes a lot of time. So if we are building an on-premise environment, a private cloud, for example, it takes months to build it because the delivery, for example, for infrastructure also takes too long. Those are a few problems we have to solve if we want to bring the cloud experience like to your own kitchen. So let's get back to that kitchen and try to modernize it for the kitchen 2.0, which is a cloud that comes to you basically. The first thing you should do or have to do is you have to get pay-per-use. You shouldn't pay $20,000 anymore for your kitchen, but rather $3.99 per meal you are cooking. You need a lot of self-service. You should get rid of all the different cooking equipment which you don't need often, standardize it, buy a Thermomix, for example, and do everything with it. Stop to have servers for different workloads, make it more complex than it is. Use a lot of automation to become as much self-service as possible in your cooking routine. Third, and this is getting a bit weird because scaling up and down in a kitchen is, I don't think that this is possible. It's really weird if you imagine that you once have a birthday party and then you suddenly have a second oven with your kitchen. But this is something you need when you want to get the cloud experience from the public cloud also in your own kitchen, in your own on-premise environment, because there you can scale up and down as you want to. And finally, the final attribute you need is that most of it should be managed for you. So you need services that help you to get the groceries. The groceries should be delivered to your door so you don't have to go shopping anymore. You need new technologies that help you with cleaning. For example, a dishwasher would be an option to automate this cleaning process and becoming more secure and also more compliant through different software. It would also mean thinking of a kitchen that is completely managed for you, that you have some person in your kitchen that helps you with preparing the food, because that is something you get in the public cloud. In the public cloud, you get everything you need as an infrastructure as a service or a platform as a service and different kind of other managed services, if you so will. So if you want to summarize it, we want a kitchen which we don't want to pay for, or at least not buying it, but more like getting it for per meal. We want self-service. We want a scale up and scale down, and we want it managed for you. I'm not sure as a chef that this kitchen is available. I don't know that we can get that in a kitchen in a metaphor as I used it, but fortunately, it is just a metaphor. And in the real world, in the IT world, that might be possible in the future, and it is possible today with what we are providing with HPE Greenlike, which is basically the cloud that we are bringing home to you. So if you have a kitchen at home, we can provide you with all the different capabilities from a cloud with self-service, pay-per-use, scale down and scale up, managed for you in the own kitchen, or at the edge if you need a barbecue in the summer. And the great thing about it is that it is open. So it means that it's connected to, for example, your public clouds. And you are more open about it. But this is just a small marketing thing. I won't go deeper into it. If you want to, you can visit our booth. I will be there a whole day, or if there are questions afterwards. I see I don't have that much time left. So let's summarize it up. First of all, a kitchen will always stay there, and the question shouldn't be if you should get rid of the kitchen in your organization, but more how to get the kitchen more cloud-like, how to get a kitchen 2.0, if you so will. And the hybrid cloud mix you should embrace. is dynamic and individual. And the important thing there is that you are staying cloud scenario agnostic, which means that if your requirements are changing over time, you shouldn't focus on we have a public cloud only strategy or we have a private cloud only strategy. You should embrace new companies and technologies to be free to choose what you want to. And one way to do it is to take cooking classes. And hire cloud consultancies, hire cloud teachers and cooking teachers that help you to become more confident in the technologies and processes you have, and to learn that you can be cloud native wherever you are, at least from a technological standpoint, but also from a processual standpoint through new ways of consuming information technology, consuming in cloud, for example, with our help. And with that, by becoming more independent, we are also more free to flow in this ecosystem, because cloud native is more like an ecosystem play where you need a lot of different companies with it. So you have to make sure you're able to participate in an ecosystem, to be more iterative, to be more cloud native, and stay confident that you can order at Delivery Hero and get some food from the public cloud, but you're also able with the right skills and the right platform to do it yourself if you need to, or if the requirements are changing. And with that, I want to thank you for listening to me. I was a bit nervous because this was actually my first keynote talk. I hope you enjoyed it. And if not, no problem. Here's the pasta recipe. And I'm sure that you will definitely enjoy that one. So thank you very much. And I hope you will visit our booth maybe later.
Thank you, JD.
Are there any questions?
Well, there are no questions on the platform at the moment, but please, people, if you have questions, JD also already mentioned that he will be at his booth, so please visit him there. Thank you so much. I've never heard a comparison between Thermomix and Kubernetes. Also, are you sure that you're not working for Thermomix?
I don't even have a Thermomix, to be honest. I'm a person that is saying, oh, I want to do everything myself. But for me, a Thermomix would never come into my kitchen because it's too expensive, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I love Kubernetes. So there the comparison fails.
Awesome. We don't have time to go much into your talk, unfortunately, but thank you so much for coming. And nobody noticed that it was your first keynote. It was really nice. We had loads of fun.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Next time with the breakdance moves then.
Oh yeah. Yeah, next time.
If it's in person, I will promise I will do some breakdance.
Awesome.
We won't forget this promise.
Yeah. Okay, everyone. So we have managed to get through the first half of the conference. So next up is the break. So please use your break for your networking calls. Also, in 1 minute on track 4, we start the lunch and draw session. So if you're interested in doodling and drawing, please join that session. And now I have to say goodbye to Sibi.
Yeah, sorry for leaving, but that was amazing. That was fun. So enjoy the rest of the track today.
Thank you for co-hosting with me, Sibi. It was loads of fun, and I hope we can do it again at some point.
Thank you.
So thank you everyone for coming along through these couple first talks, and please join us again in the afternoon. We will be back with more amazing talks, and enjoy your break, and see you later. Bye, everyone.
Bye.